Hello, my name is Keith Miller, and I am the debate coach at Rock Creek High School. And this is a video instructing, giving some pointers on how to judge at our tournament coming up this Saturday, October 4th, 2014. First of all, before I begin, I'd like to thank you very, very much for taking time to come judge. It seems people are busier every year, and it's harder and harder to find judges. So the fact that you're taking time to come help us is very much appreciated. First of all, we're location. I should probably tell you that. We are 7 miles east of Manhattan on Highway 24. So if you leave Walmart and go about 7 miles east on Highway 24 towards Wamego, you'll see a sign on your right hand side that says Rock Creek High School, and you'll need to take a left and be careful crossing the divided highway. We've had a few accidents there. And then you drive 7 miles north on kind of a narrow 2-lane road, kind of winds around a little bit, and then you'll see the school building on the right hand side. You really can't miss it. There's nothing else out here. Be careful going through the church speed zone, because the sheriff likes to sit there and give tickets to people who don't slow down in front of the Catholic Church, so you might want to watch that. I'm just going to take you through some basics, and we are also having the meeting at 7 p.m. on Thursday night in my classroom if you want more detailed instruction. So, you show up. Round 1's at 8. If you're judging round 2, it starts at 9:30. If you start round 3, that's 11. You want to show up about 15-20 minutes before the first round. So if it's round 1, you want to be here about 7:40, maybe a little earlier if you want to join us for breakfast. Round 2 starts at 9:30, so you might want to show up at 9:10 or so. Round 3 starts at 11:30, so 11:10, and then round 4 starts at 1. So if you judging round 4, if you could be here 12:30, you can show up at 12:15 and join us for lunch if you want. You go to the check-in table, which will be in the lobby, and give them your name, and they'll give you the ballot. And with some basic instructions that I'll also email out to you. And if you don't get my email, contact me at Miller, MILLERK, at rockcreekschools.org. And it's all lowercase, and it's all one word, ROCKCREEK, schools.org. And then you find your room, and you go in, and the first thing you're going to need, let's take a look at this ballot. You have a ballot, and this is what a ballot looks like. The first thing you're going to have to do is have the kids sign in their names, okay, and you just let the kids do that, right? And then you take notes on who did well and who did poorly. Now you're really going to want to take notes also on a separate legal pad or notepad. So, and you got to watch out for and make sure the kids aren't changing their story throughout the course of the debate, or a kid will say, I answered that argument. Well, you take notes, you see that they didn't. To be careful with that. So make sure you take notes. The kids might ask you what your judge's paradigm or what it is that you look for when you judge, and that's something you might want to think about ahead of time, is what is it that you're going to be looking for. The common one is policy, and that's basically you're going to pretend you're a person of Congress or on a school board or something, and you're going to decide, well, do the advantages outweigh the disadvantages? And if the advantages are better than the disadvantages, then you vote affirmative. If the DAs are horrible and the advantages are kind of then you vote negative. So that's a pretty common one. Some people like to judge on how well the person actually speaks, and you can do that too. Yeah, it depends. And that's also, if you look at the packet I send out, it'll have some on that. So anyway, they fill those out, and then your biggest job is to determine who won and who lost, and then you got to write in these speaker points right here and determine who was the best speaker and who was the second best speaker and so forth. And the best speaker gets the 1 right here, and the 2 is the second best, 3 and 4. And then you got to do a little bit of math, and you got to add it up. And you notice here these 2 kids did really well. They got a 3, and these kids got a 7. So this side has to beat this side. This side won clearly over this side. Okay, and you tell the kids, especially down here, what you voted on and why you voted the way you did. Here is more of a helpful, here's what you did well, here's what you need to work on kind of thing. It's very early in the season, so you want to make sure you tell the kids what they need to work on. So anyway, now you notice how I wrote those in. You don't write those in until the end of the round. Now, then you might get a little bit closer, and you notice these kids, you have one side with a 4 and one with a 6. Well, this 4 still has to win because his score is lower than the 6. Or you might have, if it's a closer round, you might have a 5-5, and you notice that both sides got 5. Now in that particular case, either side could potentially win, and what you're telling the kids is that it's really close. Okay, so those are pretty much the 3 possibilities. You could have a 3-7, a 4-6, or a 5-5. And in the 3-7 and the 4-6, it's very clear which side won, because the lower score, the lower total score, they have to win. So then, when you're done with that, you take it to our library, or you can leave it off at the table where you check in at and get your next ballot from there. If you leave the completed ballot in the library, you're still going to have to go down to the table, the check-in table, to get your next round ballot. So I don't really care where you either leave it in the library, the completed ballot in the library, or leave it at the check-in table, but the next ballot that you get for the next round is at the check-in table. And then you'll have a little bit of time. You can go to the bathroom, go to the hospitality room, get something to drink, something to eat, and then head off to your next room and your next round. So, now, this year's topic. Let me talk a little bit about this year's topic. This year's topic is, let me read it, make sure I don't goof it up. The United States federal government should substantially increase its non-military exploration and/or development of the Earth's oceans. So we're talking about the oceans and what we should do differently with the oceans. And some AF cases that you might see out there, some people will be saying we need to create fish farms along the coast. Some people might say we need to grow algae for food and for biofuel. Some people may say we need to drill for oil in the Arctic or along the coast. Some people say we need to clean up the ocean. There's a lot of trash in the ocean that we need, they would argue that we need to clean up. Repair the coral reefs is another possibility. Offshore energy, using the waves to generate electricity somehow, or offshore wind to generate electricity somehow. Another one might be messing with the shipping. Dredging ports so bigger ships can come into port. Tourism, some sort of aspect of tourism might also get covered. So there's just a really wide range. Oh, exploration. We should give more money so we can go explore the depths of the sea. So it's a wide range. I mean, there's just a whole bunch of possibilities here. Now, on the negative, arguments are going to be, number one, we're already doing it. Number two, you can't really solve. And that's going to be, I think, a big argument here is because some of the problems that they're going to be trying to fix would be like global warming. And so one of the common arguments is you can't fix global warming. Clean up the trash, or you can't clean up all the trash. Drill for oil, well, then you're just going to increase CO2, which is going to increase global warming. One argument you might see is some counter plans, and one in particular is a state's counter plan in which the negative team says, okay, we agree we need to fix this problem, but we think you're fixing it wrong. And their argument's going to be is that instead of the federal government dictating policy to the states, that we're going to allow the states to evolve their own policies, and those policies will fit their particular coastline and their offshore better than the national policy. And that's going to be an argument you might hear on the NEG. So it's kind of interesting. Hopefully you'll learn something about the ocean. I've learned quite a bit about the ocean I never knew. The open rooms, the varsity kids will have timekeepers to keep kids on track. The novice rooms will not have timekeepers, but generally the novice kids don't use all their time anyway, so it's really not that big of a deal. If for some reason you don't have a timekeeper, the kids participating can keep their own times. So, and just once again, make sure you fill out the ballot correctly, make sure you have them sign in, make sure you sign the ballot so we know who it is, make sure your math makes sense so that if you're giving, in this case, a 5 and a 5, that's okay, either side wins. Whereas in this one, the 4 and the 6, it's very clear that the side 4 needs to win and the 6 has to lose. And then definitely if you have a 7-3 ballot, then the 3 definitely needs to win and the 7 definitely needs to lose. Please keep your comments informative, educational. Kids really need feedback at this time. And you know, if they got a bad argument, tell them, look, I don't believe this argument. And it's okay not to believe an argument. A lot of DAs end in nuclear war. They say that if we create fish farms off the coast, nuclear war will happen. Well, if you don't buy that, and I don't buy that, then vote against it. Say this is stupid. Why are you arguing this? And that's pretty much it. Look for the handouts on my email. I'll be sending out judge's instructions if you haven't got that already. Again, contact me if you need to. It's millerk@rockcreekschools.org. And I thank you once again for judging. And if you have any questions, get a hold of me, or you can call the school at 785-494-8551. And thanks again for judging. Appreciate it. See you Saturday.